people, party people. Get ready, get. What's the dealio? What's the dealio? Let's see if I can get. Yes. Come on in the room. 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 Yeah, that's better for my eye. How y'all doing? All right, all right, all right. Y'all all right, all right, all right. Well, the feast of the Lord is going on. I know that's right. Roll call, let's go. Miss Wileen Neely, God bless you. Prophetess Neely, God bless you. Minister Long, thank you for joining me, woman of God. God bless you, Miss Deb Holmes. Shanice, look at you. Hey, girl. Hey, Shanice, Shanta, good morning. Shimway, good morning. Gwen, good morning. Valerie, good morning. Elena, good morning. Happy Friday. Barbara, hey, Miss Barbara Williams, great. God bless you. Thank you for joining this morning, woman of God. Eb, what's going on? Ebony, good morning. Arnethia, hey fam. Kendra, that's right, Kendra. You better start tagging, girl, with your tagging self. Loving it. Loving it. Bonita Jones, good morning. Minister Sanders, good morning. Miss Joanne Morris, good morning. Ashley Bowman, good morning to you and the whole Live Life Fresh family. Jacqueline L. Thompson, better known as Mag, good morning. DeAndrea Richardson, good morning. Desiree Wright, good morning, fam. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all up in here. Y'all look good. Good morning. Y'all up in here. Y'all up in here. Come on in, tag, share. We about to do this Friday thing. We about to do this Friday thing. We about to do this Friday thing. I think TGIF has been uprooted with Friday. Yes, sir. I had to put a little twang on it. This Friday, y'all, is early. I'm feeling good. I'm tired, but I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. Excited about y'all being here. Everything is good. Anthea, good morning. Miss Carol Hines Williams, good morning, sis. That's my sister-in-law, girl, y'all. That's my sister. That's my sister. That's the singing for me. Later, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do to get yourself where you need to get yourself to. Shanika, good morning, dear. Good morning. Apostle in the building. That's right, Val. I'm in the building. Y'all in the building. We in the building. Let's go. It's officially, I think it's 10 after. It's 10 after. Let's go ahead and go. I know you guys have a whole day to get to, and I don't want to keep you as longer than I need to. I definitely don't want to keep you longer than I need to. Let's go ahead and get into this pudding. Let's get into this mix. Let's do it like we do it. All right, guys, listen, this is Friday, of course, and, we've been talking about, let's pray first. Father, we thank you for this moment. We thank you for this time. We thank you for this opportunity to stand in your presence and declare that you are God, that you are good. You get the glory, you get the honor out of this time together, out of this teaching together. We bless you. We give you praise in advance for your presence now overtaking us and infusing us in our hearts and our minds and our spirit, even down in our soul. We bless you for what you're going to do, what you're going to say, how you're going to shift, and we'll never be the same in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, this is Morning Momentum. If you are perusing through this channel for the first time, this is a morning inspiration, motivation, spiritual awakening, all of that is all in one. Coaching, pushing, nudging, loving community that we meet 21 days out of a month, and we just tackle real life, everyday issues from a kingdom perspective, hopefully giving us new tools to win our race that we're running in this thing called life. So, man, we're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. You can find us Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're live right now. If this is something that has blessed you or is of interest to you and you think that it is a blessing and will be of interest to many, please share it. Please tag those who think this channel may interest them. Help us grow it, man. Help us get this word out. I believe this is something that is important, and this community that we've built so far, the results have been phenomenal. So I'm so excited about what God is doing through it. Okay, so help me support it. Help me grow it, boost it. Push it. If it's something that you think is beneficial to you, maybe it'll be beneficial to those around you. All right. So we're in it, man. We're in, of course, our series this month. We're talking about that neck up, check up, man. That's what we're doing this month. We are signing in. We are going to our appointments, our mental health appointments. Of course, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I want to bring attention to our mental health, mental capacity, our mindsets, making sure that not only you get practical help with mindsets, but you get the push and the encouragement you need to, even if you need clinical help. If you need clinical help with mental weight and mental things that you may be going through, that may be because of tragedy, it may be because of just stress or just life being life. I am one who supports. Man, get some help. I support even from a spiritual perspective. That sometimes there are anointed, seasoned, and trained clinical professionals, psychological professionals, therapeutic professionals that will be beneficial, that will help walk you through some things that they've been trained to understand how the mind works, how the neurons work, different ways to unlock things in your mind and reattach things. And so, Val, that's right. Say it loud, say it proud. She says she loves her therapist. You know what? And I got a couple preacher friends, and I've been really thinking about that, man. Just getting one for myself, just to have something to bounce stuff off, talk stuff through. Pastor, sometimes it's a lonely walk because people want to see you as strong. They want to see you as the one with the answer, the encourager. That's why Archbishop Ralph Dennis blessed me so much on Friday night during our conclave that we had here this past week at our church. We hosted from the Kingdom Impact Ministries, but our church was hosting it, and he said, what happens when the encourager needs encouraging? What happens when the one who gives strength has no strength? Wow, I felt myself there. And you may find yourself there. You may be the strong one in your family. You may be the strong one in your community. You may be the strong one. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Brittany. You may be the one. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Taja. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So you may be the strong one in your family. You may be the one who always has to be strength, has to be positive, has to have the strong outlook, has to be the fix-it for everybody else. But what happens when the fixer needs fixing? You better get you some help. You better pray about it. You better talk to your spiritual leaders and guidance, as well as if you need somebody just to bounce things off to, get stuff off to get another perspective. Amen. We got to do what we got to do. A lot of times in church we have, I don't know, I'm taking a lot of time here on this, but I just felt somebody need to hear that this morning. But man, yeah, I'm fully embracing Mental Health Awareness Month. And, leaders of our church, we've been talking about, I think it's important moving forward to make mental health avenues and opportunities and create spaces that we cater and minister to mental sickness and mental health. And so that's one of the focuses we're having as a ministry moving forward, to even partner with our city and our community to provide resources and connect with resources in the community. And so if you guys know great resources that will help in kind of being a great partnership, inbox me individually. Let me know if there's somebody I need to contact or I should know in this field, because our church is serious about being an asset and a resource for our community's mental health. There's a lot of people in the community, especially where we serve. We're in the middle of the hood, and where we serve, man, you got kids. You got people who come back from combat who are treated for PTSD. But you got kids that are acting out, even in their small, in their young age. Man, they're post-traumatic stress disorder. They've seen some crazy stuff. They didn't have to go to Iraq to see it. They didn't have to go to Afghanistan to see it. They didn't have to go in combat to see it. But some of our youth and some of our even older folks who are dealing with things, our communities were combat. They've seen things happen right in front of their eyes. They've seen violence and things taking place that, man, they're struggling mentally. And I think that's something that the church can't just peruse over, So how do we get tools? How do we reset ourselves? How do we reset our mind? Good morning, Meek. Good morning, love. How do we reset ourselves? And so, man, I've really been, trying to find me. If y'all got some good suggestions for me, I might find me a counselor. It's okay. Des, it's all right. It says freezing and audio in and out. Is it just me? Minister Sanders said the audio going in and out. Hopefully we can get that worked out if everybody else is experiencing that. Talk back to me if somebody else is experiencing that. If I sound good, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. All right. So that's what we're doing this month. We're making sure that you have tools. Audio is fine. Okay. I think we might be all right then. I can hear through and through on my end. Okay. Good. All right. I got thumbs up, Chris. I think we straight. All right. So let's go into this thing, man. I got kind of caught in that because I'm really a practical. I try to be practical. I try to be a practical leader, practical pastor. And I believe in revelation, and I believe God gives me revelation. But I believe my prayer, though, is to be able to take such a profound revelation and put it simple. If it ain't simple, people can't grab it. I want to be simple. I ain't trying to be deep. I don't want y'all to know how many words I know. The words I do learn, I'm giving y'all definitions so you can learn them too. I don't want you walking away saying, ooh, Pastor know a lot of big words. I don't understand all that he said, but he knows some stuff. No, we got to grow together. I want you to understand every single thing that comes out of my mouth. I want somebody that's 5-year-old and somebody the 60-year-old to both get something from the word. So that's where we are. Tayon, God bless you, sis. God bless you this morning. All right, so let's go. We've been talking about mindset this week, and I've been making sure that we understand fully the importance and the power of our mindset. And I want you to understand the importance and the power of your mindset. And I've been taking a couple days, and I'm going to talk about it today, and I probably will shift from this Monday and go somewhere else as it relates to dealing with mental health. But I want us to understand thoroughly the importance of your mindset, that you cannot launch from anything successful if you have not dealt with the posture of your mindset. I want you to understand that and understand that clearly, because that is paramount, that is key, that is vital. Thank you, Kendra. You know I'm struggling with this still silver. Y'all know I am. I'm like, Lord Jesus, the Lord been kind of pulling on me. You didn't pull me off. Thank you for that, because I need it. Because I'm looking at the bottle right now, saying, "Father, help thou." I'm struggling with it, but thank you for my gray. I'm trying to embrace it. I used to think it was, the stress and people wearing, and I'm, aging too quickly. Still being in my mid-40s, I'm aging too quickly. But the Lord really impressed upon me that it was His grace. It was the gift of wisdom that He placed on me and the position that He's placed in me as a father. And so I'm trying to embrace it. So thank you for the encouragement. But anyway, we're talking about the mindset, and I want y'all to understand that the mindset is everything. If you grab a word, if you grab a thought, if something has blessed you, if you got an aha moment, if God has given you anything that hit your spirit, you've got to filter it and allow it to affect the way you think. If you can come away from great teaching, great sessions, great time with friends, family, if you can have heard something inspirational, impactful, that moved you to tears or moved you in a certain way while listening to something or while experiencing something, and then you walk away and it never impact the way you frame your mindset, then you miss an opportunity to allow what just impacted you to get into your heart. And I think sometimes we ignore the work of what needs to happen after impactful moments. Impactful moments were not just for you to experience them and applaud them. But God sometimes sets us up with impactful moments to impact the way we think. And you've got to allow those moments to simply do that. Impact the way you think. Impact the way you reason. Come on. If you have a conversation with somebody that you admire, or somebody that's a mentor, or somebody that you have especially asked their opinion and what they've said made sense, and then you walk away saying, well, yeah, I understand that makes sense, but, I'm just who I am. And then you don't let that impact how you think and your mindset, then you have misused nourishment. It's almost like throwing a full meal in the trash without eating it. Woo, I felt that. It's almost like somebody giving you a paycheck and you put it in the trash can before you cash it. It's almost like somebody sending you a cash app and you reject it and turn it back to sender. You never take the benefit of what was given for you, for your growth, for your maturity. And that's what I want to deal with when we're talking about mindset. Good morning, LaTanya. That's what I'm talking about. Good morning, Rita. When we're talking about mindset, let's grow together. We were going to do it, baby. We're going to grow together. We definitely going to do it. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about mindset. And so this morning I want to stay right there, and I want to deal with Romans 12. I want to deal with another text. And I'm going to give you kind of an peek into where we're going. I normally don't give my title until I read my text, but I want to tell you this morning that simply this: we've heard great information in the last couple of days about mindsets, and some of you may saying, "Man, I got a lot of work to do." Or, "Man, I don't." I've been scarred so much. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this, or I don't know if mine is just set, or I don't know if I'm going to be able to adjust or adapt. And I just want to remind you with a traditional or with a phrase that we've heard, but I want to put it in this context: where there's a will, there is a way. There is a way. If there is a will, there is a way. And we're going to talk about the way today. We've talked about what needs to happen, what needs to shift, but today I want to tell you that there is a way. There is a possibility for you to shift mindsets. Mindsets are changeable. Mindsets are changeable. They're not like identity. They're not like a gender. They're not given out at birth and then you can't change it. They're not like color, that I'm black and I just can't be white. I don't care how much I want to be white. I can't be white because was born African American. Mindsets are not finite. And I want to get out of your mind, that's just who you are. Listen, that's just who you have been based on what and where you have been. But who you are becoming can shift if who you are changes. Lord, have mercy. That was a lot. You got me? Hey, Teresa. Hey, Quentin. You understand what I just said? The only reason you are like you are is because of what you've been exposed to and what you have experienced. And the person that God created you to be has not yet been revealed. And the only way that person will be revealed if you continue to shift who you are becoming by shifting what you are exposing yourself to. And a lot of us get stuck in who we are as to think we're finite. That's just how we're made up. No, that's not how God made you up to be. It's how your life has formed you to perceive. Ooh, these bombs. Lord, I hope y'all just getting what I just said right there. Man, I hope you're getting what I just said right there. Huh? I hope you understand what I just said right there. Your life has shaped you to this moment, but your life can be reshaped when you experience new moments. Just like old moments shaped the person you see today, new moments will shape the person you present in your future. Lord, I need y'all to help me up through here. This is already good. And so you got to embrace the fact that who I am is fluid. And you have to take pride in being fluid, being changeable, being adaptable, being shiftable. Told y'all last month in one of the sessions, being mobile. Huh? And your mindset's got to be mobile. It's got to be shiftable. It's got to be movable. You can't allow experiences to fix you. And you stay fixed in a posture, in a thinking, in a belief, in a response that I'm always going to be who I am and I'm always going to do what I do because my life experiences have made me this way. That's why you got to have new experiences with new information to make you another way. Because some of us, the sternness that you have, the brashness that you have is not your real self. It's what life has formed you to be. It's a skin that you have created to protect you from vulnerability and being hurt and being wounded and being misused and being broken. Oh, Lord. To protect you from feeling disappointed and depressed and not enough and inadequate. And the only way to shift those kind of set mindsets is to have new experiences that are developed by new information that will create a new way of thinking. I hear you, Tanya. If I wasn't teaching this thing, I might be with you. Because I feel this in my na. I feel this myself. Because there's times even in my journey as a leader that I had to disconnect myself from how I wanted to feel knowing it was not beneficial to where God was taking me. Woo. And I had to shift my mindset not to respond to my previous dealings with people and situations and outcomes, but I had to attach my mindset to promised outcomes, promised shiftings, promised changing. And so I had to shift it to what was to come instead of shifting it to react to what was. I ain't touched a bit of my note, but I'm already teaching right here. I hope y'all get this. This right off. This coming right from heaven to you. So I'm going to deal with Romans 12 today. Romans 12, 1 and 2. First Lady had it up there a little while ago. But there, if there's a will, there's a way. Let me read you this text. And I almost wanted to read verse 3. I want you to read verse 3 in your own right, in your own reading, even down to verse 4. But let me just give you some context here. This is Paul talking to the church. He's talking to the Roman church. And the reason why he's talking to the Roman church, and I love this text because the Roman church is really similar to our Western society, America, free will, very sensual, very self-expressing. Anything goes. That's how the Romans were. They were very sensual, very sexual, very into nice stuff. Was very gaudy as it relates to how they dressed and how they presented themselves, and very into themselves, each other, false gods, all this other stuff that was showy, that remind me of America. And he said he's talking to those kind of people who now are saved, who coming out of that kind of culture into the culture of the kingdom, that are bringing that kind of mindset of selfishness into a kingdom where you have to have a mindset of submission. And he's trying to tell them, if you're going to live this life fully and functioning effectively in it, this is what you have to do. He says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, New King James Version, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. In other words, that's the least you can do for what he's done for you. He says, if you're going to get this thing done in God, first of all, you have to give the ownership of you away. In other words, the way you think, the way you move, the way you handle stuff can't be because of you anymore. You can't be the first thing you think about if you're going to do this thing godly. Ooh, Lord. Then he says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be ye what? Transformed by the renewing of your mind. He says you got to shift the way you think, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. I want you to read these two texts in the New Living Translation. It says, and so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you, and let them be a living and holy sacrifice. In other words, this sacrifice ain't you dying in the physical death. This sacrifice is that you're dying to your will and to your pride and to how you want to see it and to your selfishness and your selfish ambition, and that you embrace the will of God. Are you listening to me? He says, let them be a living sacrifice and living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is the truly way to worship him. This is truly the way to worship him. Number 2, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person, Lord, by doing what? By changing the way you think. Can I pause? I got another sentence to read. But can I pause? You can leave the text right there, Chris, for a minute. Can I pause? If the word of God, if relationship with God, if the word from your pastor, if relationship with spiritual things cannot change the way you think, God can't do a thing with your life. That's a strong statement, but I stand behind it. If you come away with experiences with God and still embrace how you see it, how you want to do it, how you think about it, how you like to respond to it. And it does not get into your realm of thinking. It cannot get into your realm of acting. You cannot act out what you don't think through. Ooh, Lord. It says, God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then, and only then, you will learn to know God's will for you. Some of you still asking the question, why am I here, God? Why, what are you going to do in my life? Is there a purpose? That leads to a lot of mental illness right there. Not knowing your purpose, not knowing your worth, not knowing why you're here. They won't even miss me while I'm gone. I have no purpose in this earth. Nobody loves me. All this stuff. And you'll never really tap into the will of God for your life if he hadn't yet changed the way you think. It says, then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is perfect, good, and pleasing. And so I want to deal with that today. If there's a will, there is a way. Because yesterday we talked about the posture of our mindset, the posture of our mindset. We talked about that yesterday. Bless you, Tara. We talked about that. We talked about that. Hey, Toya, the posture. Hey, Mr. Bates, Pastor Bates, that's right. It can't be about me. It can't be. We talked about the posture of our mindset. And we talked about what posture was. Posture is a particular way of dealing with or considering something, an approach or attitude. It's the way we do it. It's the way we approach it. It's our attitude toward it. It's the way we considered it. It's the way we took it. It's the way we responded to it. It's the way we shut down because of it. It's the way we disconnected because of it. It's the way we acted out. It wasn't God. We never asked God how to respond. We never asked God how to handle them. We never asked God how to move after being hurt, after being rejected. We never asked God. We did what we thought was best for us, what we wanted to do at the time. Come on, y'all. And we took our own posture. Our posture, the posture of your mindset is everything. The posture, dealing with or considering something, an approach or attitude. It means to behave in a way that is intended to impress or mislead. My posture is everything. So when we talked about posture, we were talking about how we start, our intentions, how we come across, how we move. Our posture, it is the calculated or habitual way in which we move, in which we act, in which we respond, who we are. That's our posture. How we see it, how we believe it, the way we do it. Everything starts with the mindset of our posture, or I can say this, or the posture of our mindset. Not rehashing yesterday's teaching. If you didn't hear that, you need to go back and catch the replay. But we talked about the posture of our mindset. But here's the good news on this Friday. Here's the good news. The good news is that mindsets can change. You need to type that. My mindset can change. My mindset can change. Come on, somebody. My mindset can change. I don't have to be this way for the next 5 years. Come on, I don't have to think the way I think. Come on, because a lot of times I want to do better, but my mindset gets me in trouble. My mindset takes me back and pulls me back in. My mindset won't allow me to move in the direction that I feel in my heart I need to move in. My mindset gets me in trouble. I need y'all to be honest with yourself. Come on, somebody. It's not that your heart is not your intentions are not good. It's not that you don't know exactly what you need to do. It's not that you don't want to move forward. It's not that you don't love God and love people and love your assignment. But sometimes your mindset arrests you. Every time you go to move, it's I just heard this in my spirit. Some of y'all go, my mindset sometimes it's like that house arrest bracelet. Y'all, come on. Like we got a house arrest bracelet around our head. That every time we go outside of the reins, outside of the lines of how we normally think, that thing sounds an alarm and we push back into our limits. It won't allow us to go further. It won't allow us to step outside the box. And until we deal with our mindset, it's going to keep us in a prison of previous results. It's going to keep us in a prison of previous fixed thoughts and mindsets about a thing. And we've got to break our mindset before we ever break out of any other thing in our life. You won't break free from nothing you're dealing with until you break free from it in your mind. Lord, have mercy. I feel like running right there. Is this mic on? Y'all hearing what I'm saying? You ain't going to break free from nothing in your life until you break free from it in your mind. You can't forgive somebody physically that you ain't forgave in your mind. You can't try something physically that you hadn't first thought through and tried in your mind. And so that's the good news, that mindsets can change. Although our mindset is largely influenced by outside factors, I need y'all to hear me, the brain is neuroplastic. You know what plastic is? Plastic is stretchable, pliable. It's neuroplastic. And I don't want to get too much into scientific, but we got neurons in our brains, and it's neuroplastic, meaning neural networks. All of our thoughts are made up of neural networks that connect things. That's why you remember stuff that happened to you 15 years ago, because there were neurons connecting the dots, connecting the experiences, and that's why when there's a new experience that feels like an old experience, that neuron kind of comes and connects this new potential to old results. Lord, have mercy. I hope y'all hearing this. And so it's neuroplastic, meaning that neural networks can continue though. But the thing about it being neuroplastic and that means it's pliable. That means it's stretchable. That means it's growable. That means it's not stuck. It's not fixed. And so this means this. It means that neural networks can continue to grow, change, and reorganize throughout the lifespan. In other words, how thing was organized at first, it can be reorganized. Come on. And your neural networks can disconnect from a thought and reconnect with a new thought. Whew, Lord Jesus. Lord, this is helping me. That I can, through my work, I can disconnect thoughts to old thoughts, and I can reconnect how I think to new possibilities. We're going to get into that today. I need y'all to hear me. By challenging yourself, this is how this happens. How do I connect networks? How can I reconnect neural networks and make them continue to grow, change, and reorganize? Listen, by challenging ourselves with new experiences and new perspectives. By doing that, you can form new neural connections or mindsets. That's all your mindsets are, neural connections. That's why it's so easy for you to go back to a thought or think in a certain way, because it's neurally connected in your mind. It's lodged together. It's wedged together. So you can't think about one thing without thinking about it a certain way until you disconnect those neurons and reconnect them. And the only way to do that is to stretch yourself to experience new things and to be exposed to new perspectives. I told y'all I've been teaching this, and anybody that I mentor have heard me say this over and over again. There's certain things that always are going to shape your belief system. Your environment, your life experiences, your credible people, and your repetitive information. What you hear repetitively, who is credible speaking in your life, the environments that you're in, and your life experiences that you experience. Those four things have shaped what you believe up until this point. So if you're going to change what you're going to believe going forward, those four things has got to be the thing that shifts what you now believe. You got to change your environment. You got to change what's credible, who's credible in your life, right? Because you can't keep listening to Big Mama. Big Mama ain't been to church in 20 years. Yes, she's had experience in raising babies, and she had experiences in making it work with a little bit of money, and she's been good, and she's a good person. But she cannot help you spiritually connect the dots of what it means to live godly if she's been living and making it from an ungodly perspective. You got to change who's credible. You got to stop listening to Uncle Buck when Uncle Buck is a Rolling Stone and he's never been married and he got 4 girlfriends, but he been making good money all the time. He take care of everybody around him. He drive nice cars, and you can't look at him as your hero if you're trying to have a successful marriage. Because Uncle Buck don't know what it means to be committed to nothing. Lord, I wish y'all could hear what's coming out of my mouth. You got to find you somebody that can be credible for the person you want to become and the life you want to live and the results you want to see. You got to change who's credible. And when you change who's credible, when you change your environment, you're going to have different life experiences. And then you got to have different repetitive information. You got to change the tape recording of what is recording in your life. Our mind is a tape recorder. It's a recording. But what I'm telling you is, when's the last time you stopped the recording and changed the tape? So now something else is playing constantly in your mind that's actually positive. That's actually taking you to your next place instead of continuing to remind you of your last place. Lord, this is some Good Friday teaching. I hope y'all get this. Hey, Tiff. Hey, cuz. We got to talk soon. I want to catch up with you. Hey, I hope y'all are understanding what I'm saying. And so listen. We got to challenge ourselves. Step out the box. New experiences, new perspectives. Start going out of new places. Your night out don't need to be the club when you try. Listen, I know we got to get away. I know we got to have me time, but you got to change what your me time looks like. Sometimes your me time is some motivation, self-help. Go to a master class session, or go find somebody who's coming to town to speak on something that you want to hear. Your night out's got to change. Your self-help things got to shift. Girls' night out got to look different. Y'all just can't sit around talking about how bad men are and drinking wine together and laughing and eating a gallon of ice cream. It's got to change if you're going to change the perspective of how you think. By challenging yourself with new experiences and perspectives, you can form new neural connections or mindsets at any point in your life. Where there's a will, there's a way. At any point in your life, you can start thinking differently. At any point in your life, you can unlearn what you thought about something and relearn what it really is, or what you think about it now. Your mind is powerful. Your mind is powerful. That's why depressed states are so hard to come out of, because you're trying to stop a freight train from doing what freight trains do. Keep going. And your mind just keeps going, keep going. And I'm going to get about on that this month. We're going to talk about depressed states and what it means and kind of how to get free. But all depression is when your mind you can't cut it off. It's when there's a recording of something negative going on continually in you, and you cannot stop the freight train of your thinking to replace it. You can't replace it because you can't stop what it is that you're thinking about. That's a whole nother teaching. Let's go. Well, there we go. Where you at? Come back. Come back. It can change. Even fixed. We talked about yesterday having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Even fixed mindsets is not set in stone. That's right, Tanya. It's saying blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Even fixed mindsets are not set in stone. You might have heard me teach yesterday, say, man, I know I got a fixed mindset. How do I get out of this? This thing is I've been in this so long. I've been thinking this way for so long. How do I get out of that? Even fixed mindsets is not set in stone. You can change your mindset by learning and consciously, there's a key word, consciously choosing to believe that your characteristics are not predetermined. Remember I talked about that before? Your mindset is not predetermined like your skin color is. It's not predetermined like the family you were birthed into. You can't change that. It was predetermined. It ain't predetermined like your gender. It ain't predetermined. Your mindset is built up over the years. It ain't predetermined. And that you can continue to grow over time. You've got to get to the place where you got to know, I can grow out of this. I am not too old to grow out of the way I think when I realize it ain't lining up to how God needs me to think. We have the ability to shift our mindset by replacing it with new information. That's why we struggle, because we try to stop something without replacing it with something else. Lord, is this mic on? I done said a mouthful right there. See, when you're trying to change your life, you can't simply stop doing what you've been doing. Because if you just simply stop doing what you've been doing, but you have not replaced it with something else that is more positive, that takes up the time or the space of what you used to do, the idleness and the loneliness of not doing what you used to do with not a replacement will cause you to drift back to what you used to do. The loneliness, excuse me, of not embracing a new circle will cause you to reconsider old friends that you walked away from for good reasons. Lord, I hope this mic is on. I hope y'all listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. We have the ability to shift our mindset by replacing it with new information. You can change your neurons to affix to a different set of information. Your neurons now are connected to old information that was true. It happened to you. You have a good reason to think the way you think. But what I'm telling you is you have more than enough good reasons to think differently. Woo! God, you on fire this morning. I can't even take credit for it. You on fire. You got just as much of a good explanation. You've got just as many good reasons to affix your mindset to new information as you do the right to hold on to old information. You just got to choose which one you're going to live by. Because a lot of people saying right now, it was my experience. You can't take my experience from me. I got to protect me because you don't know my story and you don't know what I've been through. You're right, I don't. And you might be valid in thinking the way you think. It might be valid to protect yourself the way you protect yourself. It might be valid. You might have every right based on what you've been through. You might have went through some horrible stuff, and that's the only way you've had up until this moment to cope. But I'm telling you right now, if you are going to move forward and really grow through some stuff and get to the next level, you've got to make a decision on whether you're going to hold on to that pain in that story, or are you going to let it go to embrace a new level of trust that comes in God so that you can embrace what's next for you? Because you can't have both. You can't hold on to old stories and receive new glory. And I'm telling you, and you got to embrace this new information, what God has in store for you, what the new reality is because of new information and new revelations and new impartations and new relationships. Come on, and new environments that's not going to harm you, but it's going to embrace you and is going to push you. And it's here to nourish you, and it's here to encourage you and not to tear you down. You got to embrace those new environments and let that new information shape a new thinking if you're going to want the new thing. Because you can't hold on to both. You only got two hands, and it's already full. So you got to decide what you're going to do. You're going to hold your baggage, or you're going to embrace new blessings. This the motivator talking now. This ain't the friend. This ain't somebody talking to your emotions. Come on, I'm in the position. Come on, hear me as the mentor right now. Hear me as the coach right now. I ain't talking. I ain't ministering to your emotion. I ain't ministering to your feelings. Come on, I'm ministering to your purpose right now. Come on, somebody. I'm ministering to your purpose right now. Your purpose is connecting with me, even though your flesh is fighting with me. Your purpose is connecting. Your purpose, your spirit man is hearing me what I'm saying right now. And this is who I'm talking to. I'm talking to that winner in you. I'm talking to the one that God sees, that God has called, the God formed from the beginning, the person that has to become. That's who I'm talking to right now. The person that has to get free, that has to come out. I'm talking to that strong you that's down on the inside. The happy you that's been trying to get out of the pain. I'm talking to that person right now. That's who I'm ministering to. That's who I'm telling to come forth. It's been overdue. It's been overshadowed too long by pain. It's been overshadowed too long by frustration. I'm talking about that you in you that nobody sees yet. That you in you that you've been crying to be released. That you've been trying to trust yourself to let go to become. The success for you, the confident you. The you that's enough. The you that loves you again. That you that is embraced. Whew, let me get back to this. I'm about to go off on a tangent. Are y'all here? You can change your neurons to affix to different set of information. I want you to understand this. The entire field, I'm getting a little in the clinical side here, and I don't want to go too deep, but I do want to give a shout out to the clinical side in this regard. The entire field of cognitive therapy. If you've never heard of that word, cognitive therapy. Cognitive therapy is just a type of psychotherapy in which negative patterns or thoughts about the self and the world are challenged in order to alter unwanted behavior patterns or treat mood disorders such as depression. It is a cognitive where there's therapy that will teach you how to address certain moods and thoughts and things and reassign them. And this whole cognitive therapy is based on the idea that thoughts determine feelings. You want to know why you still in your feelings? Because you still in your thoughts. You want to know why you still in your feelings about something? Because it ain't got out of your thoughts yet. Your thoughts determine feelings. And if you don't change the way you think, you're never going to change the way you feel. Ooh, Lord. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, my God. That's why we're talking about therapy. Some of you need a cognitive therapist. You sometimes a cognitive therapist can give you the tools, come on, to reattach your neurons so that you can change your thought patterns and your thought rehearsals so that you can change your feelings. Your thoughts determine feelings. So this whole field of cognitive therapy, it is based on the idea that your thoughts determine feelings and that you can learn powerful techniques to modify distorted thoughts and self-defeating beliefs. It's not just in the cognitive therapy field, it's in the Bible. Whatever's lovely, whatever's pure, whatever's of a good report, think on these things. It's Bible too. God tells us if you want to cognitively come out of your stinking thinking so that you can come out of your feelings, you have to cognitively replace your thoughts with good thoughts. You might think bad thoughts, but then you got to cast down the bad thought and consciously think good thoughts so that you can consciously feel better. Feeling better sometimes don't just come. It don't just show up. It's not a package that's going to be delivered from Amazon. It's not something that you're just going to walk into that you're going to wake up and feel. Come on, can I wake y'all up? That's why we ain't had it yet in 5-10 years, because you think tomorrow just going to be better. There is a morning time with your name on it, but a morning time with your name on it comes when the results of your work start to show. The results of me taking the time to think differently so that I can wake up and see and feel better. The way you wake up and feel better is if you go to sleep thinking differently. Oh, what about the way you have the next day it's going to be better, or the next week it gets better the way you feel, or the next month is a better month. If last month you were determined to change what you thought, come on somebody, and you replace bad thoughts with good thoughts, and when you do that work, you're going to just automatically start waking up feeling better. Why? Because you started to think better. Lord, I got to get out of here. My Jesus. What messes us up is that our mind takes in new information and filters it through a fixed set of rules and limitations, which is our mindset. But it is possible to adopt a new set of rules. I gotta go, but I want to give y'all these 4 things that I want y'all to ponder on this weekend. I'm gonna give y'all 4 things how to change your mindset. You asking, Pastor, how do I change my mindset? I'm gonna give you 4 tools. Number 1, you got to start asking yourself a different set of questions. I don't know what your questions are that you ask yourself, but if you want to change your mindset, the set of questions you ask yourself got to shift. Somebody might ask themselves questions like, am I ever going to be free from this? Is there anybody out here that means me well and not going to be shady? Is there ever going to be my time, God, where I get my blessing? Is there anybody out here who can accept me for who I really am? Am I ever going to be free from this? Am I ever going to get... See, those are the questions that lock you in to justifying why you think the way you think. But if I simply change my questions to myself and start asking myself, bro, when you gonna stop this? Bro, when you gonna stop needing people validation for you to be your best self? Bro, why does it matter so much to you how people see you when God has told you over and over again how much he loves you? Bro, how long you gonna be okay with getting the same results when you know what you're getting right now ain't enough? You see how when I just asked myself different questions, how I just unlocked in myself different possibilities? And the first set of questions that I asked kept me and validated the reasons why I closed myself in still. But the second set of questions validated the reasons why I need to continue to work on breaking myself free. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Number 2, how you change your mindset? Because I can get stuck on that one. Number 2, adopt a different set of assumptions. Many of us have adopted a set of assumptions that keep us locked in our mindset. Assumptions. I just don't see how I can ever do much more than what I'm doing now with what I make and what I have and where I am. That's the assumption. So because you've locked yourself into that assumption and adopted it, that becomes your reality. Your assumption, all men are dogs. You'll never find a good man with that assumption. Because every time you look at a man, whether he's a good one or not, you're going to look for the dog to come out. And if you look at him long enough, he's going to start looking like a dog, even though he ain't. Assumption. People are just people. Ain't nobody loyal. When you adopt that kind of assumption, you can't embrace trust, even when somebody's trying to be trustworthy. What are the assumptions that you have adopted that keep you in your mindset? You got to adopt assumptions like God is for me, even if the world is against me. You got to adopt assumptions like it's going to be for my good. All things work together for my good. So even if people have crazy actions toward me, it's got to work out for my good. That's my assumption. My assumption is that God created me to be the head and not the tail. That's my assumption. Number 3, not only do we have to adopt a different set of assumptions, we got to adopt a different set of metaphors. Stop using metaphors that cause you to think the way you think. Stop saying stuff in phrases that box you in. I can go down the list of what those metaphors are, but you know them. You know what you say. You know what you say even if it's under your breath that nobody else hears. And what I'm telling you is every time you say those different metaphors, when you liken stuff as this, well, I guess, life is like that. It's just always going to be hard. Number 4, you got to wear a different hat. What hat do you have on now? And I'm telling you, take that hat off and put another one on. If you got the negative hat on, you got to take that hat off. What hat are you wearing? Are you the agitator in the room, or are you the peacemaker? Are you the reconciler, or are you the exposer? Are you the one that just like to call people out, and it makes you feel stronger? It makes you feel protected. You gotta change the hat you wear, because if you're gonna change your mindset, you got to change these different things, because it changes your perspective on how you see things. And I'm telling you right now, your mindset can shift if there's a will for it to. Where there's a will, there is a way. I'm way over my time. Thank you for sharing today. I got so much in my spirit. I want to keep going, but I'm just gonna stop right here. I've kept you too long, but I hope you got into something from what I said today. I spoke from the heart, and I spoke definitely from what the Holy Spirit was leading me to say, and I hope it blessed you as much as it did giving it to you. All right, I got to get you out of here. I love you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. I say it every day. You are winners because there's a winner on the inside of you. If you woke up this morning, you woke up with a new mercy to win this day. Don't let anything happen today to cause you to lose the victory that God has already given you. Winners win, and that's who you are. So go do what you do. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning.